What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Classic dropping a midnight blog. This will be the last one for a couple weeks. Hope you guys are having a wonderful morning. I know some of you guys are on the night shift, morning shift, or maybe just at home enjoying the day. So if you're listening, if you come in late, thank you for showing up. If you watch this at another time because it's late, I understand. Usually the best traffic I get is when it's 5:30 p.m. because everybody's either leaving work or just starting or just shoot up. So before I get into anything else, let me get my promo thing going on. July 23rd is my next show in Appleton, Wisconsin, American Legion. Runaway Train. I go against Kodiak. It's a big guy, one of the biggest guys I've ever faced, but my heart is bigger. So I'm going to take him out and try to go to the top. Like I said, Now That's Wrestling. They've been doing very good with crowds and everything like that. In the Midwest is just so many companies and stuff like that, and a lot of them don't sell very well, but they sell very well. They're very positive, very family friendly and stuff like that. So those are the kind of companies that I'm proud to wrestle for and be a part of, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to drive all the way out there and get so much love and appreciation. After that, a week from that is Kingdom Come. This is C3 Ultimate Wrestling, me and my wife's company, first show of the year. So much stuff. We are so excited for the show. It's at a new location. It's not where we are previously at. We are sponsored by Limelight Entertainment Comics. I don't have the picture because I just got off of work and I wanted to do this on time. So I'm going to interview David Green, the owner of Limelight. I know he has a lot of things coming up. I want to interview him and stuff like that because I want people to know who invested in our company and how great he is. And then we both walk with Christ and everything like that. So it's a wonderful thing. So also we have Kevin Young Sr., aka CEO of the Yellow Pill Coffee Company. He will be hosting the event. So like I said, he has a lot of topics that make people scratch their head. You may agree, you may disagree, but that's how he is. And he does great things with that. He puts things in a man's perspective as well, because sometimes people don't want to hear it from a man's perspective, but sometimes it's best to hear it from our perspective. Going into the show, we have the Cobra versus the Ewok in one-on-one action. You guys do not want to miss this July 30th. We are going out or going in with a bang. We got myself versus Cassidy Keith, one-on-one action. We got a triple threat. We have Mike Strong versus Marcelo Spade versus Perfection and Perfection's debut. All of these guys are very hungry talent. So they are trying to make a name, not just for C3, but just wrestling in general. So that's a match to look out for. You should look out for all these matches. We got a triple threat women's match for the C3 Women's Champion. Our first one will be crowned between KO Kendra, Renee Van Peebles, and Vega Venom, all three lovely women. We also have Aaron Stone versus Jackson P. Larkin, and some one-on-one action for the C3 Urban Culture Championship. I am missing one. We have a tag. It is two-man Warzone versus Legit. I don't have it saved on my file, unfortunately. But those two, I'm going to save them for the next live. I do apologize for that because, like I said, I just got off of work at 11:30, and I was trying to hurry up and do it. So I did want to save their match as well. So then the main event is Miles Mercer versus Just Amazing for the C3 Wrestling Championship. As you guys know, at Guys versus Gals, the main event was Miles Mercer versus KO Kendra one-on-one action for the championship. Now, usually I don't do things with women going against the men for the top championship, but women wanted to be heard and women wanted to have a statement in professional wrestling because there were a couple shows I didn't have women booked. So this was my one way to apologize and also show what women could do. Unfortunately, I didn't know that Miles and the ARC would be that vile to hold on to that championship. So if you don't know, KO Kendra is the wife of Just Amazing. So when Miles won by doing that, Just Amazing was upset. So Lafayette in the building. What's happening, Mr. Classic? What's going on, Rob? Good to hear from you again, bro. I hope you enjoyed the stream today. Hopefully, I can see you at the show or whatnot. I'll talk to you about that. So that's the main event. Like I said, man, this dude is trying to look for retribution for his wife and also get the top title because Just Amazing has been undefeated for the past 2 years in C3 Ultimate Wrestling. So that's good to see. Going back into the shows, unfortunately, I will not be at Wisconsin Pro Wrestling August 12th because of a scheduling issue. It's not their fault. It's well, technicality on my on at my job, so I'm not. I don't want to go into more detail about that, but I definitely will be making a debut. I can't say when, but I still wanted to do a promo for it because great people there. I was looking forward to the opportunity and stuff like that, but stuff does happen with wrestling and everything like that. But they're going to have a great show with or without me. So shout out to them and everything they do. They're very professional, very clear about everything and stuff like that. So shout out to them. Um, Final show for so far. I have more shows down the line, but there's no flyers or anything like that. But so far, this is the final show for right now. It's a showdown by True Privilege Wrestling, August 27th in Maywood, Illinois. Doors open at 6. Bell time is at 7. General admission is 20. Front row 25. You can also get tickets on Eventbrite. Card subject to change on all of these. All right, let's go. Let's go into it. All right, so shout out to everybody that's listening to this. Shout out to everybody that's coming out or who will come in later. Shout out to everybody that's going to watch this live. Let's go into the topic. So, before that, make sure you guys go to Spring Tea and type in C3 Ultimate Wrestling. Spring.com, that's what it is. We have merch online. We don't have physical for the show yet, but I'm going to try to get that before the show. But unfortunately, I know it's not likely for this show because I want to make sure all my ducks are in a row for this show, everything. So, but if you go to the creator.spring.com, type in C3 Ultimate Wrestling, creatorspring.com. I'm going to put this in the chat. We got shirts. We have the official Classic Alpha shirt. If you order and you use the promo code Alpha in all caps, you get free shipping. So the only thing you have to cover is tax. But this is how the front of the shirt will look. The back is just regular. You can get this in men. You can get this in women. You can also get it in toddlers. For some reason, the toddlers are more expensive. So I would say just try to get the smaller size you can. I usually, when I make a shirt or try to do a shirt, I want something that I like, something that I would buy at a wrestling event. So I think this was something like if I was at a show or something and I liked the shirt, even if I didn't like the person or, I definitely get the shirt. You got the C3 Ultimate Wrestling shirt. You can get this in 3 different colors. You get it in black. You can also get it in white. So, yeah. So make sure you guys get that. Appreciate the support that you guys have been doing for me and stuff like that. So with the shirts, make sure you guys get one. If you order now or within the past few days, you'll get it before Kingdom come, which is July 30th. So that'll be dope. Support independent wrestling. Since I said that, that is the topic of today. The Support Indy Wrestling Movement. Now, let's talk about that. Now, it was a movement, and I do think that it is, I don't want to say it died down, but it definitely is I'm trying to hold on. It's definitely a movement that is still today. That's still today. The question is it big? Is it as big as it was when it first started? And it started with 2010s or something like that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my stuff lined up. Okay, there we go. So now when you see this, when you go to an independent wrestling show, sometimes you still do see it. But there are a lot of shirts. It's a campaign dang near to support or defend independent wrestling. So you see a lot of taglines, you see a lot of shirts, you see merchandise, you see a whole bunch of stuff to say supporting independent wrestling. I got a homeboy, a brother of mine, he has it tattooed on it. So when we talk about that, let's talk about like the current state of it now, as I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go back to the thing. So when wrestlers or when wrestling companies say support independent wrestling, they mean go to the shows, pay for the ticket, buy merchandise, come back, get food, have fun, buy merch, enjoy the show, come back, consistently come back. Not only that, tell your mama and your greasy grandma and your ungreasy grandma and your kids and stuff like that that this was a great experience and everybody needs to come and see this show. You know, even if you're a fan of wrestling or not, support indie wrestling. You can, like I said, you can do a whole bunch of things. You can boo people, you can cheer people, you can take pictures, you can get autographs, photo ops, buy tickets, raffles. Sometimes people do raffles for games and prizes and stuff like that. That's what it is. And that's where it comes from. So when we think of independent wrestling, we don't think of obviously like big shows. We think of stuff that's like in school gyms, high school gyms, or auditoriums, Legion halls, and stuff like that. A lot of companies do that. Now, going back, my first time seeing independent wrestling, I didn't know it was a thing until like 2007, 2008 or something. What happened was I was on the internet and I was looking at CM Punk stuff from WWE. I liked CM Punk. I liked how he came out and everything like that. He was different at the time and stuff like that. So what happened was I would actually like look at stuff. So then it'll be like CM Punk versus somebody that's not in WWE. So I'd be like, well, that person's not in WWE. So how did CM Punk go against this person if I have never seen this person or whatever? Honestly, I believe it was Samoa Joe. I think that was like one of the first one. I think it was Ring of Honor or something like that. So I knew that Samoa Joe was in TNA at the time. So I'm like, Samoa Joe never wrestled for WWE. So then when I looked at it, I hate to say it, but the quality of video and things like that, I'm like, well, what is this? Was like, what is this? But then I started to understand that there are things that are outside WWE and TNA at the time. And when I was watching WCW and then even hearing about ECW, there were shows that were minimum compared to them as far as production and financial situations. Those were different from that. But here I was looking at longer wrestling and less promos and less funny stuff. More of it was like the grit of wrestling and if you are a fan or not. So ROH was one of those ones. And then eventually I would look at Thunder Files. I don't know if you guys know who that is. And he would have like a compilation of finishing moves for certain people, and like Ronan and AJ Styles and Matt Sydal. He would have certain things like that. And I'm like, man, it blew my mind because these seemed like these were more accessible to go to compared to WWE or WCW or anything like that because they cheaper tickets. And you could get a front row seat. It'd be a lot easier to get a front row seat or a second row seat and stuff like that. So this was my first time seeing it, but obviously this is something that has been going on for years, even in territory days and stuff like that. People were doing companies and stuff like that, trying to make money and stuff. So when I look back at it, my first independent wrestling show was the first year I actually started wrestling was in 2012. It was a tag team tournament, the Bob Luce Memorial at IUWA show. And they were trying to see if I was interested in actually wrestling. And that's how basically I got into it. And eventually I became who I am today through the grace of God and everything else. And then I got my own independent company that I'm trying to make major. Pray for me on that. So that's how I got into the independent thing. But during that and all the way here, you've always seen eventually shirts and merchandise. And even people had it on their personal merchandise, support independent wrestling and stuff like that. And then it really was like a movement on like Facebook. I believe they got a Facebook page. You had a whole bunch of pages that were saying it. Victoria, Lisa Marie, she had a restaurant, the Square Circle. I didn't go, never went. I wanted to at the time, and she would do an independent night or whatever, and people would show their shows or whatever like that. People would do interviews and stuff like that, and interviews on major news outlets are kind of cringy to me because sometimes they don't really care. They're just doing their job. So they mispronounce certain things and say things wrong and stuff like even people at work. I don't like talking to certain people at work who don't know about it because I told them exactly what it is and they still think it's something else. So now I'm just like, I'm just going to entertain what they say because it's not funny. And it's just frustrating because of how much I enjoy wrestling. But that was the main thing about supporting indie wrestling, also respecting the business, as in not going somewhere trying to spoil stuff and being cool with the wrestlers so you can get the inside scoop. A lot of people are doing that nowadays with this internet. And the internet, a lot of people are doing it. A lot of people going off of rumors. My cousin Pookie and them, they sat behind Naomi first cousin on the left side doing a Cupid shuffle, and I heard them say this and stuff like that. Not that kind of stuff. You were just like, hey, if they got something to say, they would say it and you would respect it. That's how it was and stuff like that. Now it's different. The times have changed and stuff like that. Now, with the internet and supporting independent wrestling, it has become more accessible to support independent wrestlers. You get what I'm saying? The days are gone to where you had to go to a wrestling show to buy their shirts. Now they have a Patreon or a Spring Tea or a website. They'll have things, PayPal. They'll have things to where you can support a wrestler by not going to a show. You can buy their merchandise. You can buy what they're selling. You can follow them. You can send them money and stuff like that. I have my thing about women who join OnlyFans. Look at the Russian net. All these women who wrestle, who are married, whatever, doing this OnlyFans thing. If you want to support them, body feet pics, hey, hey, whatever. But you can support people. You can buy their old dusty shoes and old gear and nasty gear if you want to. I know these are jokes, but I'm dead serious at the same time. You got some people that's selling some of the most ridiculous stuff. But if it sells, then by all means, go ahead. So it's easier now to support because you don't even have to go. You can actually watch them on YouTube and stuff like that. Production stuff is a lot easier. You get great quality cameras. Heck, even phones got good cameras, iPhones and all of that other stuff. You have good stuff to where you can support them by following them on YouTube or subscribing and or Twitter or Facebook. You can monetize. They can monetize eventually when they have a big following and stuff like that. So independent wrestling and supporting it's become more accessible. I think the negative part about that is that people expect people to invest in them and nobody owes you nothing. I've seen people who have attitudes and get upset because nobody wants to buy their gear or nobody watch their match or nobody subscribes to them and stuff like that. It's always an uphill battle. Man, what you think I'm going through? I'm not saying this as a part of complaining, but this is a setup to the testimony. You have to push hard and you have to work hard. Hey, if this person doesn't want it, you got to go to somebody else. That's what I do with trying to sell tickets and sell my show, C3 Ultimate Wrestling. All right, cool. A lot of friends and family, they come. Some don't. Some went one time and felt like they did their debt to society. So I try to focus more on the people who I don't know. Tomorrow I'm going to try to flyer and stuff like that near the event tomorrow because I have a better chance of getting new people if I know certain people are not going to go. And if the people who do show up always show up, I'm grateful for them too. But you want to get more people coming in. And I think that's why the people lose the plot on when both companies, major companies, book celebrities and athletes and stuff for wrestling matches because they want to bring in another audience. It's cool, we got y'all, but we want to make more money and stuff like that. With me, it's a big risk because I'm not in Hammond anymore. I'm in Crown Point. But we're going to do good. I already know. I'm claiming that. We're going to do great. We're doing sponsorships. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff, and we're investing. We're going back into the internet. Yeah, it has become more accessible for you to support wrestlers. And nowadays, you can know their personal life through Instagram, Twitter, or whatever they allow you to say. I'm not saying you got to get them a hard time or whatever like that, but that's a good and bad thing too, because they always had a saying, never meet your heroes, and they might support something that you're against and stuff like that. So I'm like, hey, maybe you should just like them from a distance or whatever. You don't have to follow them and stuff like that, but you can support Patreon and all of that stuff and all that good old stuff. You can do all that kind of stuff now. Things are very different. Got some comments. Want to read? Hey, late nights. What's all right, Sean, man? Salute, man. Hope everything's going right with you, man. I got to catch up on some of your videos, man. I've just been very, very busy, man. Missed the late night crew with you, Kev, Bree, all those guys and stuff like that. I missed those. Got to do those again real soon. If I may ask, where you from? I'm from Texas, but I live in East Chicago, Indiana, and I do shows. I did shows in Hammond, Indiana, but now we're doing shows. We're going to do our first show in Crown Point. So I'll show that again. So we're gonna have a great show in Crown Point. So yeah. But anyway, going back. Excuse me, I'm still trying to work this stuff. Going back into what I was saying, independent wrestling it's bigger now because of the promotion, but it has to be a thing with consistency. I think WWE and AEW, they have done some things where they either buy companies, i.e., Tony Khan with ROH, or WWE doing stuff. I heard they bought Progressive. I heard they work with a lot of stuff. So a lot of them, they seen how popular independent wrestling was, and that's why some of them do eventually book some of the popular guys and stuff like that. Now, how they use them is also subjective. Some people will probably bet on the indies, and at one point, major wrestling companies look down on independent wrestling, and sometimes AEW kind of does it wrong on how they promote people. And even with independent wrestling, I'm not even just talking about just standard wrestling, man. You got a lot of people who started backyard wrestling because they didn't have no money for training. They had tied stuff to wood posts and made a ring and stuff like that. I'm not saying that they were right and okay with that, but they were hungry. They were passionate to do something. You'd be surprised how many people are actually great, solid wrestlers who started in backyard. Now, yard wrestling is still looked down upon. I don't really like it like that, but I do know I've met some of the best wrestlers who started with that or whatever. So that's also a thing to keep in mind, doing well. Appreciate it. Keep grinding, man. That will pay more dividends than my videos. Nah, it's cool, bro. It's cool. But yeah, some people start on the indies. Some people love the indies because with the independents, you can go to a lot of spots and stuff like that, unless somebody got beef with other stuff. But going back into the main companies and stuff like that, like you see AEW, a lot of their champions, and they have a lot. They are defending their belts at other companies and stuff, and it could do good and it could do bad. It depends. Nowadays, people do watch stuff, but you have to have great quality matches and stuff like that. And like I said, it's an uphill battle because there's so many companies, man. Like my wrestling, my YouTube channel, C3 Ultimate Wrestling, I've had that longer than the Taking Home podcast, but I have almost 120 subs on the Taking Home podcast. Make sure you subscribe if you have not. But on my C3 Ultimate Wrestling, I only got like 83 subscribers, but I believe I get more views on the wrestling than that. And that's what it is. You can have 1 million subscribers and only get like 10,000 views. It's not promised to you because some of the numbers are good. Just because you make $1 million in revenue doesn't mean that you're worth $1 million. You know what I'm saying? So it's always like an uphill battle because it is a lot of companies and stuff like that. I take pride in us being a great professional wrestling company, family oriented, stuff that you never seen before. Or if it was something that you forgot that you liked, that's like one of the things. I'm going to talk about that in another video on why C3 Ultimate Wrestling is a thing and why even Classic Alpha is a thing. But going back into the independent thing, yeah, it's easier now to support because even with the pandemic, right, you could watch a lot of shows. A lot of people had shows that didn't have much of attendance. Some people did certain things. Hey, if you want these people to get together, some people do crowdfunding and some people do campaigning. They'll do a campaign to say, hey, if you want to see this wrestler, pay for them. I don't do it. That's not my kind of thing. A lot of things that I do, majority of the time, is coming out of me and my wife's pockets because I don't want nobody to feel cheapened or shortened if they do spend money on that and I can't accommodate that wrestler who they wanted to come in. it's just one of those things. But even going back into supporting wrestling, like you got apps now. You have a lot of apps to where a lot of companies uh license or they sell their footage for that. For example, Fight is it Fight TV or Fight? A lot of people that I know who run companies, you can order their event live streamed, or you can just watch it at a later time, sort of like the Peacock thing. So some people know how to do these things to where you can support them. Oh, you want to go to one show, but but you want to support one show, but can't make the other one. Okay, you can stream it live, but you can come back to another time. That money goes to them, and however Fight distributes and stuff like that, you can do things like that. Pluto, the channel app or whatever, we have it on our TV and stuff. There's a whole channel. There's like a couple channels that are focused more towards independent wrestling. I believe like RCW and Ultra something, Revolution something. So you have apps. People are trying to go into the app game, and people are doing deals with TV stations and stuff like that. People were doing TV station deals way before the internet came. But what I'm saying is it's more accessible and it's more easier for your content and stuff like that. So that's my baby, dog. That's y'all know that. Yeah, ice cream, mama. Y'all know that's my co-host. Man of the people. Trying to be, man. I'm trying to be, man. God bless. But yes, baby, ice cream. That's enough. But yeah. So supporting independent wrestling is more accessible. Now the prices that people try. I'm gonna help my baby. My baby trying to fall off the couch. Lord, pray for me, y'all. Be careful about my. All right, come on. There we go. But anyway, the thing with it is chill, mom. The thing with independent wrestling is that it is accessible. She wants to say hi to y'all. Hold on. Let's see. Say hey. They don't see you. Say hey. Say hey. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Anyway, that's my baby. But anyway, independent wrestling is more accessible because you can support independent wrestling, not even by monetary. Like I said, you can subscribe, you can follow, or you can support them. You can do a whole bunch of stuff. So, like I said, I've had my she really is. I hope my wife don't get jealous, but you really do have a lot of things to where you can support independent wrestling. Some have campaigns, some have Patreon, some have, like I said, OnlyFans. That'll never be something that I'd be interested in. Y'all buying women feet pics, but hey, sex sells and so do toenails. I should make that a t-shirt. But anyway, some people do this kind of stuff. You just can't subscribe to whatever they're selling. It might not even be feet. They got master classes for everything. Everybody has a master class now. It's just like, I can show you how to be a wrestler, or I can show you how to do this and that. Some people do what I do and they try to profit off of it that way. And if that's how that works, that's just how it works. You can buy their gear, you can promote their shows, you can share an event and stuff like that. To anybody who has done it, I appreciate y'all. When I do C3 Ultimate Wrestling stuff online, they tell me people who I'm not even friends with share it. You got people that message me about certain things. Like, it's all love and it's all good stuff. I get Lord. She went from not talking to having a full conversation. But anyway, you have a lot of ways that you can support independent wrestlers and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, as grateful as I am, and we are, I hope nobody coerce you into doing that. You can do the Fight app. There are other apps where people upload their wrestling content. Some don't use YouTube because of monetary reasons and copyright strikes. It's so easy to lose your channel. So sometimes people do other things for it to work. So always remember that. Like, it's not You don't have to, if they want to support you, they'll find a way to support you. And if they can't, it's okay. We all hit rough times, and sometimes people might not actually be interested into the product that you have or that you're promoting. Now, that sucks, but that is the truth. Some of us wrestlers, we get upset when our family don't want to show. But I'm like, well, you got to get new people to come to see. Because, like I said, you do have some that feel like they paid their debt to society. And I'm grateful that they came to the show that one time or they shared the event, but it happens. That means you have to work on other people. The more people know, the more people show. That is something that I live by ever since I've been a promoter. And like I said, shows keep growing and growing if people keep knowing and knowing. People have to know who you are, what your company is, and stuff like that. Like I said, we got to go out tomorrow near Crown Point. Crown Point is 30 minutes away, and I got to do this stuff. I'm saying this to motivate people, not just promoters, but wrestlers or anybody that's doing the business and stuff. You want people to know about it, you got to show about it. You got to grow about it. People have to know what you have to do and stuff like that. And like I said, it is very easy. And to me, as a wrestler and as a promoter and as a booker and as all of this stuff, all these hats that I wear, even though I just got headphones on, I support a lot of my people. I do. Some people don't. That's fine. Stop, mama. It can't be that funny. Oh, she looking at me because what happened was, what I do is I put myself on YouTube to make sure the quality is decent, and she's laughing at me because I'm a joke. But anyway, mom, hey, that's enough, mama. Okay, thank you. Why you cursing? I'm on live, but they ain't made me lose my train of thought just like that. Why y'all do that? But shoot, I'm so mad I forgot what I said. I was saying the more people know, the more people show. People show up. Dang, man. Just like that. Yes, I'm live. Go ahead, get her. Made me forgot my whole thing. I was pissed to go in too. All right. My co-host is leaving with my other co-host. But anyway, going back into it. As a wrestler, I found out what I'm saying. As a wrestler, promoter, booker, all of this stuff, I support independent wrestling. I support my colleagues. I support my people. I support people I don't know. How do I do that? I actually go to shows, and I don't bring my gear on purpose because sometimes I just want to go enjoy the show. Some people go to shows. Some shows are hours away. I go support. I buy a shirt. This year, like I've been going to Now That's Wrestling and other companies and stuff, and I just been buying stuff because you need to support each other. I always felt like that. It's just like, okay, you want people to support, but I'm like, well, shoot, why don't we support each other? Sometimes you need that. Sometimes that's the best thing to do is to support each other. Hey, how much is this shirt? All right, $20. All right, I'm blessed with it. I'm gonna sow a seed. I'm gonna do it for you. You might buy my stuff, you might not, but I'm just want you to know that I support what you're doing and stuff like that. Got a lot of talented people out here, and sometimes that makes their day just buying one shirt. Sometimes that kind of stuff happens, and I go to shows and I support. Hey, can I get a picture? Oh, this is nice. I enjoyed the show. Y'all did a good job. I'm not asking for nothing. I'm just supporting people and stuff. I've shared flyers from companies I don't wrestle for. I've shared companies that and I'm not saying it to brag, but I'm saying it to how we can make this. This was supposed to be a movement. I don't want it to just be a trend. I want it to continue to grow so companies can continue to grow, so people can continue to grow. Man, a lot of us who do have gear and merchandise, we know how much money that is and how much that stuff takes out. Make sure you go to the. Oh, I forgot to put the link in the thing. I'm so sorry. Make sure y'all click that link and y'all get a shirt. Take a picture, send it to me. Y'all click that link for a shirt. Anyway, and put promo code Alpha for free shipping. So you get a classic Alpha shirt or a C3 Ultimate Wrestling shirt. If you get one now, that's cool. If you get one later, that's cool. But make sure you get one. But anyway, going back into it, and I've always been campaigning to other wrestlers, like, hey man, we want other people to support what we do. Then why don't we just go to some of our shows and support each other? Some like, hey, I'll be busy. That's understandable. I work too. Some like, oh, I get an itch to wrestle. That's why I don't do it. Some people like, if I'm not booked, I'm not going. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, that's what y'all want to do. That's y'all prerogative, Bobby Brown. Because every little step I take, I'm going to support everybody. I'm going to support people and stuff in wrestling. Hey, Chris, classic Chris Alpha, what you doing here? I'm here to support. Oh, I thought you was here to wrestle. Nah, I just want to support. I know how hard it is. I know that it can be difficult at times to where you work so hard and you dang near be in pain or you hurt yourself and people are saying, why are you doing this? Because you're not making no money for it and you hurting yourself. But then you got a dream, you got a vision and stuff like that. People don't see it. People can see, but they don't see your vision. I've been there, to where people say, oh, I'm gonna be to your show, and then they never go. So it's like, okay, well, I just gonna find people that actually like to see what I do and stuff. I've had that. You know what? I want my family and other people to come back, and hopefully they do. But if not, then that's fine. Because you want to know what? One of my goals in wrestling was to have my dad, who lives in Washington, and my mom, who lives in Texas, to see me wrestle at least one match. So my mom, she came to see me wrestle when we had a show. We had a tribute show at Project Revolution Wrestling. I'll never forget you. I love you, Ivan. They did a benefit show for my niece because my brother passed. But we wanted to make sure, well, Ivan wanted to make sure there was money in my niece's pockets and stuff. So Mark, shout out to you. Love you, brother. Justin, love y'all. I love y'all for this. But because they were there with me this whole dang time. And we did a benefit show and stuff like that. I told my mama about it. She flew her and my stepdad out. And they came to the show. I believe, no, Ken wasn't born yet. But they flew all the way from Texas to come see the show, not only just in honor for my brother Cam, but for me as well. And that was the first time I won a top title in a company, and it was very, very emotional. I couldn't even cry because I was sweating. But my dad, he pops in from time to time and flies out here randomly and says hi, sees us and stuff. So I told him I had a show, and I went against my bro RK Savage, aka Trey. I just talked to him today. God bless him. I know he's doing a whole bunch of stuff, and he got a testimony to say whenever he's ready to tell it. And me and him, we had a great match. And then my dad said he liked it and he enjoyed both of us and stuff like that. So that's what made me happy. But also, it also showed to me, if people want to be there for you, they'll be there for you. They'll do anything for you to support anything like that. Like I said, my daddy came random. You could say it's coincidence and stuff like that. But at the same time, it meant a lot to me. So when I get emails or messages from fans or parents of fans who say they like me and they're a big fan and stuff like that, that touches my heart, and that's my thing about supporting that supporting independent wrestling to me, because you don't have to message me, you don't have to find me on Facebook or anything like that, but the fact that somebody told me that and that happened this month, I don't try to put people business and stuff like that unless I ask them. So I'm not going into who said it and stuff. But when you say that, that's like one of the things that I'm trying to do. Let me stop talking about this because I want to do this in another live about certain things. But going back into the independent wrestling part, it's not hard to support it. Sometimes all it takes is a share button. Like I said, it's more accessible to to support independent wrestling. Now, that is up to the person if they actually want to do it or not. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to twist anybody's arm to try to support something that they don't want to support. That's fine. That is okay. I'll find somebody else that will support everything that we do, everything that I do and stuff. People will message me about C3 Ultimate Wrestling. Hey, what's going on with this? You're doing great. When is the next show and stuff like that? Because I always try to have my shows aligned up. I always try to have my shows aligned up and stuff like that. So to the wrestler that is feeling like they're not support, I support you. Hit me up. To the promoter that feel like they're not support, I support you. I try to go to as many shows as I can, and I do understand like some wrestlers don't do that because they might have beef with the person who run the show, or maybe they just don't want to go, and that's on them. I don't want to say this hypocrisy or anything like that. People have their reasons to go, but as for me, I'm gonna support independent wrestling how I can invest, how I can go to a show, pay for a ticket. Now I don't even go to the back and respect your locker room because I'm not booked there. So why would I go to the back? I've done that for only one company, but I left as soon as I say hi to everybody because I want to make sure that their mind is right to have an entertaining show, respecting the business and stuff like that. That's another video right there. But don't want you guys to forget that, man. If you want to support wrestling, like you got some people are friends with wrestlers, ask them, hey, you sell shirts online or when is your next show? You know, some of us be excited about that. You know, if you actually want to do that, you want to buy merch. Like I said, they got links. You can do the links online. You can subscribe to them. You can do all kind of stuff to do. You can go to Fight and buy the app or subscribe to Fight or anything like that. You know, YouTube is just like one of those big platforms that people are using, and it can be oversaturated with a lot of bad product. But you know, sometimes it takes time to find good product. But don't forget, you can find some good product at c3ultimatewrestling.com. You can buy the gear there. You can click the link. You can also click the link for buy tickets on Eventbrite, or you can buy tickets at the door. So don't always forget that. You want to support independent wrestling, support C3 Ultimate Wrestling, July 30th at Kingdom Come on the Square Sports Academy, 105th North Court Street, Crown Point, Indiana. I forgot the zip code, but we're going to have some fun. We are going to have some fun there. We're going to do some things. I got some merch, other merch, not shirts, or other merch that I bought for a while. I have to make them tonight. Well, tonight or maybe in the next 2 days or maybe next week or whatever like that. I got to make sure everything is together to support us. So why is the TV so loud upstairs? My family is watching Stranger Things. Don't judge me because I thought the first few episodes was kind of boring. But don't throw no tomatoes at me. Maybe I'll go back to it. Maybe I won't. But always remember, da da. Always remember, it's absolutely free to support independent wrestlers. Sorry, all these messages. It's absolutely free. You can share the product. You can share the links. Shoot, they got free things you can subscribe to. You can, yeah, it's absolutely free. I'm not begging you to though. If you don't want to, you don't want to. That's my philosophy. I'm not gonna force you to do something you don't want to do. I'm gonna force you to buy something that you don't want to buy or whatever like that. But that movement is still alive. You know, a lot of people don't say it much. Some people do. Some people use it as a hashtag to you know, on Twitter or Facebook or anything like that. Put that down, mama. Put that down. You're gonna hurt yourself. Okay. Thank you. Put it down. Thank you, mama. Mm-hmm. My kid's so bad. She about to be too. But anyway, yeah. So that's it. So I just wanted to speak about this. I want to talk about the future of the Take It Home podcast. We still here. I also want to say I want to be what I am on the Take It Home podcast. You know, the Take It Home podcast, you know, when you say take it home, that means go to the finish and go straight to the point. So I think that I need to be honest with a lot of things with wrestling and what I see as it and the product on the mainstream and on the independents and all the other stuff I see. So I'm being honest in how I feel about the thing. So, but I don't want people to take it as hate, slander, or disrespect. But you're entitled to your opinion, and I'm entitled to mine. Sometimes facts get mixed in that. So I am going to try to do more fresh takes and more different videos and stuff like that because I do like talking from my perspective on certain things and the history and certain things, but I also want to talk about some things, to be honest. I want people to think. I want people to make me think. And I want to talk about certain things wrestling-wise and, okay, why I don't like this and what is this and what is that. It might be controversial takes, but it's not intended to be disrespectful at all. So once again, make sure you support independent wrestling. You know, subscribe to the Take It Home podcast. Subscribe to the C3 Ultimate Wrestling. That's on YouTube. Come to the show July 30th. Kingdom Come. My baby leaving. Just trying to make it. Kingdom Come July 30th. Make sure you guys come support us, buy merch and everything. A lot of these wrestlers have merchandise. Support them, you know. Don't forget Wisconsin Pro Wrestling. I won't be there, but it will be a great show. I am thankful for the opportunity to be there, but I'll definitely be back. It's just this year has been hectic with scheduling and a whole bunch of things at work. Uh, August 27th, the Showdown, True Privilege Wrestling. Got Marcia Rocket, Don Don Miles, KO Kendra, Damian Tyler, D'Angelo Steele, Xavier Sky. So there's going to be a great show. But next show is Now That's Wrestling Runaway Train, me versus Kodiak. I don't know what you. I'm sure you guys what this man has done to me. Why this is happening?
Boo! Boo!
So yeah, that's why. So definitely going to make a Cosby sweater out of this man's back because he's bad. But going back into it, make sure you support independent wrestling the best way you can. You know, some of it was with money. You want to buy merch, like I said, I dropped the link. Buy stuff, show up, buy a ticket, enjoy the show. Yeah, I definitely got to handle that, man. But yeah, if you want to support me, subscribe to my YouTubes, share this video, comment, say I'm doing a great job if you want to. That's the kind of stuff I like. You know, of course, we all want to get paid. We want to get money. We want to get paid for what we do, especially like with platforming and multicasting and stuff like that. We want people to send us money, super chats, and all that. We want all of that stuff. But at the same time, I also want to host some content and understand that these are all learning experiences. And sometimes knowledge is like the most expensive thing you can have. So that's something to think about. I'm a church guy. I go to church, so let that sizzle in your spirit if you want to. God bless. I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning now. Like I said, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I've been watching Paternity Court for a long time, and I like that show. I mean, I've heard about it, I watched it a couple times, but I like Paternity Court. Judge Lauren Lake, I don't want to say like she picks a side or whatever, but she does get on like a lot of women who are irresponsible in this situation as well. So I hate saying that, but it's the truth. You don't see that a lot, especially with court cases and stuff like that, and with babies and all of that stuff. So that's like one thing I do like, but then she do get on the guys too and stuff. But anyway, back to wrestling. Thank you guys for everything you continue to do. I'm about to get off of here. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell somebody you love them. If you want to talk to me about anything personal, you can message me, anything like that. I'm here to serve. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home. As they don't want me to end the broadcast, but I'm going to